Hi everyone and welcome to wsignature.com. In this video, we'll be learning how to make authentic Nigerian fufu, also known as akpu. Now, fufu is a Nigerian swallow made from fermented wet paste of cassava. So let's begin. Now let's start with the steps. Now the first step will be to peel the cassava skin with a knife and chop. The skin contains a very high amount of cyanide, which can be toxic to consume. So we're going to remove the skin, just as I'm doing right now. Cassava could be very tough to chop. It's actually very, very hard. Now, there seems to be a huge misconception that every swallow is known as fufu, and this is wrong. There are different types of swallow, and fufu is just one of many. Also, the method of preparation is totally different from that of other swallow. Now, for this particular fufu, it's very important to go through the major steps in order to avoid major complications due to the toxic carcinogenic compounds contained in cassava. Next, I'm going to rinse this with clean water. The second step will be to grate or grind the cassava. Now, after peeling, you grate or grind the cassava. Most times, people just soak the cassava, and after soaking and leaving it to ferment, they grind it. But I found this to be easier because it gives it a wider surface area for fermentation to take place in order to get rid of the cyanide in the product. The cyanide is usually attached to glucose. The next step is to soak the cassava in water for about 3 days without changing the water. Then for the next 2 days, you change the water. With the surface area for fermentation exposed by grinding the cassava, it's easier for the toxic cyanide to be extracted. The cyanide is usually attached to the glucose in the cassava, and part of it gets removed after fermentation. Now, by routinely changing the water within 3 to 5 days, about 99% of the carcinogenic compounds would be gone. The cassava is perfect when the water becomes clear. That is from the yellow water you get at the beginning to clear water after straining several times. This is the crucial step, and if you skip this step, your fufu will end up being yellow, sweet, and not good at all. The next step is to strain the fermented cassava pulp through a pap sieve, or simply pour it into the pap sieve. It has like a bag, okay, so you just pour it in and tie it tightly, then place over a sink. You can strain it just as I'm doing right now, or just pour it into the bag and tie it very tight, then place something heavy on the bag so the water will be drained out. We just want to get the water out of the pulp. Now, at this stage, the smell of the cassava is usually very unbearable, and the smell can linger for a very long time. So be sure to wear disposable hand glove when straining this or just going through this step. Now, after straining and after getting the whole water out of the pulp with the sieve, you dry the cassava. You just spread it on a flat tray and dry in the sun. Or if you have an oven, you could just simply dry it in the oven. By now, most of the toxic compounds would have been extracted. Now it's time to make the fufu. Once you're ready to make the fufu, you pour the fufu flour into a pot and add water. Mix it to form a paste and place the pot on the burner. Then you cook this while stirring consistently until it starts to thicken. If it's too soft and runny, you add more cassava flour. Then you mix it till you get a smooth, firm, thick, pliable dough. Now, if it's as soft as this, you have to add more flour and mix till you get a pliable dough like this. Can you see how thick it is? And if it is not that smooth, you can transfer into a mortar and pound with your pestle. Pound till you get a smooth, pliable dough. I'm going to get the wrap ready. So this is what it looks like, just pounding it, just a little bit of it, just pound that. Can you see how smooth it is? And once it's like this, it's ready. So you just wrap it in the cling film and store in the refrigerator and store in the fridge till you're ready to use, or you can just store it out there till you're ready to use. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. Till next time, bye bye.